Podcast Rushing Waters.
Hello fellow Fantascapists, it's Val here and welcome back to Getting By with DIY, where we make random shit because that's where the dopamine flows. Today we're taking on the grand task of renovating our apartment to look more like a medieval fantasy tavern. And if you want to know the lore behind the why, here goes. A little over a year ago, my husband and I are sound asleep in bed, when all of a sudden I feel him jumping off the bed, running towards the bathroom, leaving the door open, and shouting something. I'm thinking he might be in distress, so I get up as well. And as my feet hit the floor, they are submerged into a puddle of hot water about this deep. Mind you, it's about 2 a.m. in the morning, I'm still not sure what's going on, I'm thinking maybe I am dreaming, and as I'm trying to make sense of the situation, my husband is in the bathroom trying to turn on the light, which for some reason is not turning on, but is gushing water. Once I realize that I'm not in fact dreaming, I rush towards my husband and realize that in several different spots the bathroom is gushing water from the ceiling. The floors are covered in water throughout the whole apartment. My cats are freaking out. I have to carry them in my arms, hoping that we don't get electrocuted. Long story short, the hot water pipe in the bathroom burst open. The walls were leaking water everywhere. And the apartment is pretty small. It's a one-bedroom plus den, the den being the tavern set. It pretty much covered everything. Because it's 2 a.m. in the morning, we had to wait for an emergency plumber to come around, and it was, I want to say we waited for like an hour or 2 hours for him to just come and fix things. They had to cut through the walls to get to the pipes. There was a bunch of holes in our apartment. It was just a huge mess. Everything was wet, the floors were unrecoverable. For over 3 months, we could not stay at our apartment. We had to move our furniture out. We had to stay at my husband's family's house. The building management brought up these huge fans to dry out the whole apartment first. Then they had to demolish the ceilings and walls that were affected, which was a lot, pretty much most of the apartment. They had to rebuild them, repaint them, and then my landlords, because we rent this place, had to replace the floors, which also took a very long time because their insurance was trying to tell them that they wouldn't process their claim like in over a year. So they had to pay out of pocket to fix our floors. It was crazy. It was stressful. It was sad to see my tavern set so gloomy and empty. But we did not let this bring us down, and we decided that this was a great opportunity to upgrade our apartment to look more tavern-core in multiple different spots. This is our tavern-core apartment upgrade adventure, and here's the plan. The 4 areas that we focused on for this upgrade was the living space, which you can see kind of behind me right now, the workspace, which is right in front of me right now, the dining area, which we never even had before, and the tavern set, of course. The inspiration for this is obviously in the title. I wanted to have medieval, fantasy core, tavern core vibes. That meant candles, vines, rustic looking furniture, pretty much what my tavern set looked like before. And thanks to you beautiful gracious souls who donated some money to us during that difficult process, we didn't have to break our bank too much to do so. Our adventure is going to consist of 5 different quests. The fundamentals, the dining area upgrade, the living space upgrade, workspace upgrade, and the tavern space upgrade.
Quest 1. Fundamentals.
First thing I started with was furniture. I think all of the furniture I ordered was from Amazon, so I'm gonna include some links in the description below for you guys to browse them as well if you'd like. Overall, I needed to get a new work table, bar table, tavern shelves and living space shelves. I also ended up getting a dining table, which I don't think I ever filmed the process of, but this is what it ended up looking as. For my work table, I really wanted an electric standing table that would go up and down depending on what I needed it to do. Sometimes it's for standing and sitting purposes, sometimes it's for filming purposes. So useful regardless. We were building it quite late at night and we definitely weren't in our right minds, so we did not do it correctly and at first it was crooked.
Something not right?
That is crooked. The things were not screwed in.
Why?
That really is all fucked. I don't know. Let's go watch some Box Talking.
Look at this mess. We decided to come back to rebuilding this table the next day and watched Vox Machina the rest of the night. We're back to it again the next morning and I look very, very happy. But we got it! It looks great, except it attacked my pinky toe. Like I said, I like that this table goes up and down, and I also like that it has a couple shelves for me to hide certain things.
Oh look, it's evil. Wow.
And that it's quite wide, so I can fit a lot of different stuff on it as well. And here is me just setting up my workstation. The next piece of furniture on the list for me was getting a bar table because that was very important for my filming process. The bar table I had before was actually a workshop table that I got from IKEA. It looks fine enough, especially in like the short form content like TikTok or whatever. When I started filming skits on YouTube, first of all, the table was a little bit too short, so it doesn't look exactly like a bar table, and also it wasn't long enough to fit in the scene and look like a bar table. So I moved that workshop table into the kitchen to serve as our kitchen island, which actually works out quite fine. It moves around, and if I need more space I can always shift it places. And we got a new bar table, and let's get into a little montage of us building it. What I like about this table is that it came with 2 stools, it has a couple of shelf areas, and it has some spots to put your glasses into like in the real bar. I'm very excited to decorate that later when we go into the tavern set quest.
Hello, good day. It's nice to see you. Let's begin the assembly.
To further upgrade our tavern, I also decided to get some new shelves because old shelves that I had were actually not tall enough, so I had to put them on top of the trash cans to make them appear taller. I just don't think it's safe enough. Plus, I was kind of tired of the way that the set looked, and I decided to get rid of them. The shelf that was on the right actually got moved to the Bart area, and the shelf on the left actually got moved to the living space, which we're about to get into. I wanted the tavern to have a bit of a symmetrical look, so I got 2 identical shelves to sit on each side of the tavern, and when I film it actually looks pretty sick. Let's get into a quick montage of our tavern shelves.
Meow. G. Time lapse. Look at these majestic little beasts.
Majestic beasts indeed. We're gonna get back to these shelves later on in the video, but for now let's move into the living space. With our living space, I felt like before we didn't have enough storage. I've actually never have enough storage for anything, but especially in the living space, I felt like I needed a little extra. That's why I decided to move the old tavern shelf into the living space. And I purchased an extra identical shelf to it so that we can put it on the other side of the living space, and it would just kind of do a little more symmetry, just like in the tavern set. Now, I'm not going to show you the building process again, but I did add some vines onto these shelves, especially the old one, because it had some of that water damage in there that I don't think has any kind of dangerous things going on. I decided to cover that spot with some vines and obviously cover the rest of the shelves with vines as well to make them look more whimsical. Once we were done with that, it was time to engage my muscles and put those shelves on top of the cabinets.
Protein. Protein.
The living space wall used to contain all the paintings, which I actually moved to the bedroom, and now they're all kind of stuck together on the wall and they look pretty cute.
Oh boy.
Love it. And that's the basics for our furniture. Now we move on to our window situation. It had these ugly blinds. We decided to get some blackout curtains. However, in order for us to stay a little bit more or less renter friendly, instead of installing a full-on rod system, we got a tension curtain rod, which just attaches to the walls with pressure. It works fine. You can't have your curtains too heavy and you can't jerk them too much, but it doesn't really cause me any problems. I like these curtains for 3 reasons. It gets really hot in the apartment when the sun's shining through the windows, so these curtains do a really good job at covering that up. Sometimes when I film, I don't actually want the sunlight in the room. I want to use my lamps, and it helps with that a lot. It gives the apartment a bit more of a cozy feel. Now that our curtains are installed, let's get into the next part of our fundamentals quest, and it's installing the backdrops.
Alright, let's get the backdrops installed. We're gonna reinstall these things in the tavern, and we're gonna install some more backdrops in the living space. Let's get started.
At the end of the rainbow, there's happiness.
While we were back at the tavern set, I also installed my macrame curtain, which serves as a border between the bathroom and the tavern set itself. It helps a lot to not break the immersion and kind of cover up the fact that there is an ugly white door in there.
Check it. It's back. Ah, I'm so happy.
Mother, have you brought my treat? I guess a kiss will do. Hey. That was indeed a good job.
I have the new backdrop that's going to go along this wall. Let's get started.
In the workspace area, the backdrop obviously cannot cover everything because we have an AC there, a filter space, electrical plugs, so I just use an X-Acto knife to cut those areas out.
This is a good start. Good start. Lots of fixes to come.
Now we're back at the tavern set and we're going to clean the area up before we install the rest of the backdrop situation there. Before the flood, I actually had some black backdrops installed underneath there in the white spot, but they got ruined in the flood, and I had some actual wooden backdrops left over that I decided to apply in there. They look different in color for now, but they actually just need to stay out in the air for a bit, and they end up fitting in quite okay. Now I messed up a little bit in this area and didn't align the planks properly, but once I add some decorations in there, you won't be able to see it. We are going to attach this backdrop to the back wall over here to make it look even more like a tavern. And that's our backdrops. You might notice that in the living space, the right corner looks kinda empty. I will show you why soon. But for now, let's get back to the last part of our fundamentals quest, and it's adding some vines and LEDs to the areas that apply. We're back to the tavern shelves. We're gonna need vines, LED lights, and a glue gun. Our fundamentals quest is finished. Now let's get into our dining area upgrade quest.
Quest 2 Dining Area Upgrade.
I think I mentioned before that we didn't even have a dining area in the past. All we had was a couch and a coffee table, which was kind of situated in the same space as our dining area and working space would be. You see the right side of the couch, that's where the dining area is going to be located, and the back of the apartment is the area that's not getting any upgrades at this point. An empty wall with just a backdrop is not that fun, so I thought it would be fun to add a fake window design into it with a cutout of what the outside of Tara's Tavern would look like. And Tara's Tavern is my original character's tavern, so obviously most of the set is kind of modeled of what her tavern would look like. Let's get into the process of getting that done. I ordered this little window. It was technically supposed to be from Amazon, but Amazon was like $100, and I actually found this one on Temu by accident that was like $30. The package came with these little hangers that have 4 nails in them that are already attached. You just have to hammer them in. They're so white that you can see them behind the window, especially when you're looking from the side. So that's kind of annoying, but I think it easily can be covered. You see that white hook still kind of showing, and it looks the same on both sides. The window itself did come with the ledge, but we have a nicer shelf that we wanted to use for this design because it's bigger and it will fit more stuff. This is a little fantasy forest design I got online. I really liked how it looked, and that was the closest thing to what I thought what the outside of Tara's Tavern would look like. Tara's Tavern is actually located inside the mountains. Like literally her door is concealed in the mountains. There is a bit of water, and we also have the forest. So I think this is the perfect look for Tara's Tavern outside. We are going to cut this into the shape of the window over there. I think I'm okay with this. So the tree will be the top part because we want to make sure we have some of the tree, and we're going straight into this area over here. So I just want to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. Not bad. I remembered I have double-sided tape, so that's what we're gonna use. Let's do it. Okay, I think I did it. Guys, I did it. Okay, so I think this is already super cute. Now I'm gonna, while I have the opportunity, add some vines in here to make it look even prettier. We have these ugly white hooks in there that I'm going to cover up with the vine. I'm gonna bring you in closer so you guys can see. There we go. That's the ugly white hook. Looks great. We need some more drapes. I'm also thinking of adding this trophy head, maybe possibly right over here or something like that, like in the middle. Or we could even try going for some like on the side as well. Maybe even above. Oh, you know what? Above might be actually much cooler. Yeah, I think we'll put it right over here. I think that might be alright. I like this. This is cool. We just have to paint the guy and it'll be perfection. To finish off the area, I obviously added some extra drapery that kind of matches with the tavern set. I also added some vines and a dragon trophy head that we are going to get into painting in just a second. To paint the dragon head, we're obviously going to apply some primer first. And once our primer is done, we're going to get to the painting process. I decided to go with this color design. I applied some base layers first, then some shadows, and then highlights. As I was painting the dragon, I realized I wasn't vibing with the yellow color much. It was just not giving what I wanted it to give. I tried to salvage it by adding some darker gray colors in there, but it was also looking kind of ugly. So we switched the yellow color to the green, and I think it was a great choice because the vines are already green. The dragon head kind of feels like it's part of the set and not just kind of like a separate thing. I also covered it in Mod Podge just to have this little extra top coat to protect our head from scratches. I imagine this dragon head having a little secret, and if you pull the right tooth, its mouth will open and will have some kind of a mysterious key that you don't know the door that it connects to, but there might be some interesting treasures hiding behind the door if you ever find it. Anyways, I'm looking forward to showing you guys what the dining area ended up looking all together, but now we're moving on to quest number 3.
Quest 3. Living space upgrade.
I don't have a lot of before shots of the living space, but this is what it used to look like. We just had our TV on top of these cabinets, a white shelf that was kind of ugly, and some paintings on top. I divided the two shelves into different vibes. I decided to fill the left shelf with more of the kitchen stuff because it's located right beside it. The first thing I did was get myself some potion bottles and labels. I put my vitamins and supplements in there to just, make my everyday life feel a little bit more whimsical rather than just boring vitamin supplement taking because I'm getting old and now I need extra things to help my body function. Anyways, that's what the potions looked like on the shelf, and then I added some of the other kitchen appliances and stuff to fill that one. For the right side, I never ended up filming the process of filling it because it just kind of happened over time, but it contains a couple of my collectibles, books, my Coca-Cola stuff, my friends' stuff, because obviously I'm a goblin hoarder and I need to collect multiple different things that I never even touch.
ADHD.
Moving on from the shelves, we also mounted a TV in the middle, which is very aesthetically pleasing for me. But it also serves a cool purpose of playing something cool in the background when I'm doing my D&D sessions or just trying to film something fun and want an extra little aesthetic going in the back. And to add extra character to that area, I got some LED lights going as well. Later on, we also got this rustic looking cabinet to just put some stuff under the TV, some extra electronics and all that stuff that we don't want to just have laying around. Now let's get back to that empty corner on the right side. I installed a curtain here, and now it's my cat corner with a bunch of their clothes, snacks, brushes, and the litter box. Surprisingly, it also helps contain the smell. And that's quest number 3 for you.
Quest 4. Workspace upgrade.
This is what our workspace looked like before. There was no workspace either. It was, once again, a couch and a coffee table. And I used to work actually on the opposite side over here, right on that side of the cabinets. And my computer was situated there too, where I would just sit on the bar stool. So this is sort of the close-up of where the workspace is going to be situated. And this footage is from my husband and I's attempt to do horror Let's Plays. and we never ended up posting this, but enjoy.
Fucking statues. Stupid statues! I fucking knew it!
For this space, I didn't actually add that much more stuff. The table setup stayed the same from the beginning, and one thing I realized was that that metal vent system is actually metal, so I can add magnets to it. So I decorated some stuff on there, and that's kind of renter friendly there. Added a little bit of extra vines to the air vent so it doesn't look too air venty. And I also thought that this was a perfect space to have my personal portrait hanging over me, watching over me, making sure I'm safe and sound. One of the biggest upgrades for me was getting a new work chair for this, because before I used to use this old bar stool and it wasn't comfortable or ergonomic at all. Another thing that you might have noticed in one of the other shots is that I got another shelf that contains just some extra small things and trinkets on it that I thought would be fun to include in that area as well. And you might notice that we added some extra backdrops to the side to just fill the space a little more. That's quest number 4, the workspace. It was very short and sweet. But that's only because quest number 5 is a long one. But you'll enjoy it because it's about the tavern.
Quest 5. Tavern set upgrade.
This is what the tavern set room would normally look like. This is what the tavern set room looked like before the flood. And this is what it looked like after the flood. Let's get our new and improved tavern set started. practicing the shimmy special. I wonder if Aragorn ever tripped on his cloak. We have a bar table situated, and now I have this curtain that I've had before, and it kind of helps me film any videos that require just a darker background and nothing else aside from it. But I also got this new backdrop that has a tavern design on it. Now, if you don't know me as a creator yet, I do tavern core videos a lot, and I have an original character named Tara the Barkeep, and I mostly do sort of like POV content like that. But because I'm extended to YouTube, I want to be able to film other characters as well that are visiting the tavern and sitting across from Tara. So this backdrop will actually help me have a bit of a more of a broad spectrum of the tavern shown without me having to build a whole set, because I just don't have the space for it. This backdrop is very easily attached by using some curtain rings. Right about here, I realized that I did not order the correct size and it's not long enough, so I had to actually add a bunch of rings to each other as a chain to extend the length of it so that it actually reaches me down at the tavern set. And this is what it looks like as a test footage. And I actually have this footage over here from my most recent skit. Let's get back to our tavern shelves. Now, we actually have to move these shelves into the tavern and start decorating them with all the supplies we have. And I have a lot. Prop box number 1, prop box number 2, prop stand number 3, prop shelf, prop bag, prop box. A lot to do, not a lot of time to do it. Let's begin. The symmetry, though, is making my heart flutter. I'm going to tape the LEDs to the back of these drawer chests so that they don't just swing around. We can finally start decorating. If you can see the scroll hanging at the back of the tavern set over there, it's actually called Tara's Patron Scroll, and it's one of the smaller perks that my patrons receive. Over on my Patreon, you can get a lot of extra content, like exclusive skits, behind the scenes, extended DIYs, early access stuff, scripts that have never been posted to anyone, full photo sets, and so much more. If you'd like to support me and get more from me, please check out my Patreon, which has the exact same social handle, ValTheFantescapist. Starting to look like the tavern again, I'm so happy. But I'm feeling tired, it's getting late, and tomorrow I have work. So I'm gonna take a break and continue tomorrow evening with the rest of this time lapse. See all these bottles here? They are going to go into the tavern set. Some of these are not actually going to fit into the shelves because the shelves are a little bit shorter than some of the bottles, but those are usually the wine ones and they can go inside the bar table. Let's go into the time lapse. Alright, so I've arranged all the alcohol bottles and I've also arranged some of the glasses in the bar table. And now we just have to arrange all the props in all the little nooks and crannies that we have here.
This rune was given to me by one of my followers at a rent fair here in Canada.
Little gift from one of my characters that I play.
Thank you so much. Do you want me to open it now?
You can open it now if you would like.
Okay, hold on. Do I read the message first?
Sure.
Okay. I don't want to break it.
That's okay.
Oh, good luck. He's giving me a charm. A charm that's gonna help me suppress any activation of my curse for 24 hours. Oh my god, that's from the wizard. It was meant to ward against the shimmy special, and it only lasts, I think, like 24 hours after activation, which is pretty fun.
Can I get the shimmy special?
Not 24 hours! Oh my god!
On it, so
Really?
That will glow.
That is so cool. Oh my god, I'll hang it in my tavern. Oh my god. I'm gonna keep it on this shelf over there somewhere.
Quest number 5, the Tavern Set upgrade, is complete. And that brings us to the completion of the Tavern Core Apartment upgrade adventure. I really enjoy making the space look more like me, and thankfully my husband shares in that, and we can enjoy the space together. I'm definitely not completely finished with everything. I see a lot of room for improvement, a lot of things that I want to change here. Obviously this is more of a renter friendly upgrade. If I were to do this at my own place, I would definitely not be using backdrops, I would be using the real stuff. But I think this will do for now. It makes me feel quite happy. And I know what will make you feel quite happy. Let's get into the final results.